Hi, everybody. How are you doing? So, what are we going to be doing today? Let's have a think. I've been thinking about it for the last half hour. I should know, shouldn't I? Right. Yes, of course. When you get a kind of a brain glitch, I just had quite interesting, curious, even. Don't know why it came. Anyway, what we're going to do today is kind of a mini workshop. It's a workshop that's based on some project that I've been working on with individuals and with teams of companies that some of those individuals work for. So it's a kind of compilation coming from different places. But I noticed that many of these things kind of go well together in the same package, hence this mini workshop. Now, as we go through the workshop, there are some exercises, there's some notes, there's some research that I've picked on because it's important and it relates. But also you might say, this could help me or my team. Well, if you find that it may help you or your team, don't hesitate to send me a direct message. Sending a message asking whether it may help doesn't cost anything. It doesn't commit you to 10 sessions with me that's going to cost you loads of money. It's none of that. Okay, so if you've got a question, if you've got a comment, if you've got a thought, if you're wondering how, why, and what we can do to help this to work for you, just ask. Let's have a conversation. Okay, so what we're going to do today is explore some of the most common challenges that professionals face in the workplace with their teams or within themselves, and how adopting a growth mindset can help you to overcome the obstacles that kind of fall in our path. Do they get in the way? I don't know how to put it. Let's have a think about that. That could be a good one to follow. We're not going to do it here and now. So what we're going to do, we're going to look into 10 key topics, provide some practical insights, some examples, and link to some research. The research is really important. Everything I do is evidence-based. In other words, somebody spent some money and a lot of time researching a particular topic and subject. So research is quite important. And this research can help guide us towards, for example, in this case, more fulfilling and successful careers, more fulfilling and successful teams. So what's the first of these 10 things we're going to talk about today? So why do some people feel unhappy with the end result of a project? I've come across this several times with my clients. They get involved with a project. It may be something they develop themselves or something that's been passed to them. They give it their all. They go for it. They achieve. They score the goal. And at the end, they don't feel happy with the result. So what's that all about? Well, as it turns out, a lot of people have been in that position where they put their heart and soul into a project. And when it's finally done, they're feeling kind of deflated, unsatisfied. Well, one of the reasons why this often happens is because of unmet expectations. So we might imagine, for example, an outcome that's perhaps unrealistic. And when reality doesn't kind of match or measure up, disappointment sets in. So, for example, all my examples, by the way, relate to the real world or my real world. Think about this. There was a marketing professional, spent months working on a campaign. And there was an expectation that this campaign was going to go viral, whatever we mean by that. But yet, when the results were positive, but not extraordinary, not viral, this person felt deflated. Even though this campaign was a success by most people's standards, still felt deflated. There was a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, and that study discovered that people often experience dissatisfaction when their expectations aren't met, even if the outcomes are objectively positive. If you want to know where that research came from, just ask me a question, I'll tell you. So let's think of a solution. A solution to combat this is that it's essential to set realistic goals, and something that some of us are not very good at. Set realistic goals and celebrate small wins along the way. Little air punch. Wow, yeah, I did it. Yes, that was a good one. That worked. Celebrate small wins. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give your team a pat on the back. Keep a record of your accomplishments. Doesn't matter how small they are. Keep a record, because it will remind you of the progress you're making. Pause the video if you need to hear that again. Saves me having to repeat as well. Let's think about number two. Number two is the concept of a victim mentality. That sounds a bit ground, right? It's not. A victim mentality can be a significant barrier to success. So when we view ourselves as victims of circumstance, we give up our power to change our situation. And a mindset like this traps us in a cycle of helplessness and, unfortunately, inaction. So, for example, somebody who constantly feels overlooked for promotions might actually start to believe that they're simply unlucky. So rather than taking proactive steps to improve their skills or seek feedback, they don't do anything. According to Dr. Martin Seligman, by the way, was the guy who introduced positive psychology to the world, not by himself, with other people. They introduced positive psychology to the world back in 2000-ish. But Dr. Seligman worked on something called learned helplessness. And learned helplessness is when people believe they have no control over their situation. They're less likely to take positive action to change it. Think about it. Is that you or somebody you know, somebody in your team? So a potential solution for this is to shift your mindset, change your thinking. Ask yourself a simple question. What can we do to improve this situation? Even small steps can make a big, big difference in regaining a sense of control. Let's think about the third one, the importance of authenticity in leadership. So what is it? Well, authentic leadership is about being true to your values and your principles. It's not about being perfect. It's about being genuine and transparent. One of the things that authenticity does is that it helps to build trust. Another is that it helps to build a positive workplace culture. So, for example, a manager openly admitted that they'd made a mistake. That showed the team that it's okay to be human. It really is. And this sort of behavior encourages a culture where people feel safe to take risks and able to learn from any mistakes they may make. Research in the Harvard Business Review highlighted that authentic leaders create more engaged and high-performing teams. Think about that. And while you think about that, reflect on your core values and make sure that your actions align with them. Because this consistency helps you lead with authenticity and build stronger relationships with your team. So what about the challenges of delegation? Delegation is going to come up again in this video. It's important. Challenges of delegation. Delegation is a critical leadership skill. Yet it can be really challenging. A lot of leaders struggle to let go of control. They struggle to trust others to handle important tasks. So, for example, a project manager was hesitant to delegate key responsibilities because of a fear that the work wouldn't be done to their standards. But yet, this can lead to burnout and prevents team members from developing their skills. There was a study that found that managers who effectively delegate authority are more likely to generate higher revenues and grow their businesses. Interesting. So let's think of a solution. Start small. Start by delegating tasks that are important but not critical. And provide clear instructions and trust your team to deliver. Because over time, this helps to build confidence in your ability to delegate and in your team's capabilities. It's a win-win. The fifth one is interesting. It's about the impact of social pressure on job performance. Have you ever been in a position where you've felt that there is particular social pressure and it's had an impact on your work performance? Many people have. Social pressures can significantly affect job performance. And that's especially true in environments where comparison and competition are prevalent. And this kind of pressure can lead to stress, it can lead to burnout, it can lead to decreased productivity. So, for example, there was a team of software developers. I know nothing about software development. It's just a title to me. I'm sure it's more than writing games and so on. So a software developer felt pressurized to work long hours. And that was because her peers were doing long hours and so on. Even though it wasn't necessary for productivity, they were doing this. And that led to her feeling burned out and a definite decline in the quality of her work. But yet she was good at what she did, apparently. The American Psychological Association noted that social pressure is a significant source of stress in the workplace, and it affects both mental and physical health. So let's recognize when social pressure is affecting your behavior. Set clear boundaries. Set clear boundaries for yourself and focus on what you can control. Remember, your performance is about quality, not just quantity. So what about expectations? Is there a role for expectations in job satisfaction? I argue that yes, absolutely there is. So expectations, whether they're imposed by self or they're imposed externally, play a crucial role in job satisfaction. And one of the challenges comes when expectations are unclear or unrealistic. they often lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. So a new employee might expect rapid career advancement. Maybe it's been indicated as a potential possibility in interview, I don't know. So this new employee might expect rapid career advancement. But when this doesn't happen as quickly as anticipated or kind of implied, they become disillusioned with their role. And that's despite receiving positive feedback. Pats on the back, you're good at what you do. According to research in the Journal of Applied Psychology, the alignment of expectations with reality is crucial for job satisfaction. So what can we do? Regularly communicate with your manager to align your expectations with the realities of your role. Why? Because this helps you to stay motivated and satisfied with your progress. Communication is key. Let's talk about perspectives. Sometimes perspectives cause all kinds of chaos, don't they? Think about it. Political perspectives, that I'm left wing, I'm right wing, I'm this. All kinds of chaos can develop because of misaligned perspectives. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. It's just different perspectives. But yet aligning perspectives within a team is really important. In fact, it's essential for collaboration and success. So when team members are not on the same page, that often leads to misunderstandings and conflict. So there was a product development team where the marketing department kind of had this idea, they envisioned a different target audience than the design team. And that ultimately led to a product that didn't meet the needs of either group. Problem. In a journal, a psychology journal, and I've not noted the title, it talked about teams with aligned perspectives are more effective and experience less conflict than teams with misaligned or misalignment. And we can find solutions for this by developing open communication within teams, by regularly checking in to make sure everyone understands the goals and everyone is working toward the same objectives. Sometimes just writing them down is not enough. We may need to take a step further. So let's think about a growth mindset in the workplace. What is a growth mindset? Basically, it is the belief that abilities, your abilities, my abilities, and our intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. And it's important because this mindset is crucial for overcoming challenges and for achieving long-term success. So an employee who adopts a growth mindset would see failure as a learning opportunity. They wouldn't really be discouraged by a setback, but they would probably ask a question. What can I learn from this? And then they would use the answer, the experience, to improve. Carol Dweck wrote about this. She talked a lot and did a lot of research about growth mindset. And she showed that individuals with a growth mindset are more resilient and achieve higher levels of success. So encourage yourself and your team to embrace challenges and view failures as opportunities to learn. Because an approach like that leads to greater innovation and resilience in the workplace. 9 of 10. No, 9, not 8. What do you know about perfectionism? How do you feel about perfectionism? The thing is, perfectionism can be a motivator, but it can also be a huge, huge barrier. So whilst striving for excellence is important, perfectionism can lead to procrastination, it can lead to burnout, it can lead to dissatisfaction. And that's especially true when impossible standards aren't met. So, for example, I know a certain content creator, and this content creator is not me, and this person spends hours tweaking minor details of presentations. And they've delayed the release of presentations because they want it to be perfect. And what does it do? It increases their stress. And the thing is, something that we discovered in a session, the audience didn't even notice the differences, all the little changes that have gone on. They just didn't notice. There was a study published in a psychological bulletin that found that perfectionism is actually associated with a range of negative outcomes. And these negative outcomes include anxiety, depression, lower job satisfaction. That's just 3. Any one of those is enough, never mind all 3 or more. It's okay to set high standards. It's absolutely good to set high standards, but we've got to be realistic. We've got to recognize when good enough is sufficient and learn to let go of the need for perfection. We've got to celebrate progress, as I said earlier, pat on the back. But we're not just looking for perfection. So let's understand a little bit more the concept of a growth mindset. It's foundational to personal and professional development. If we can believe in our ability to grow and improve, we open ourselves up to wonderful new opportunities and greater achievements. I have a friend who's a sales professional. He told me about initially struggling with cold calling. It was scary. He didn't know how to handle objections, all kinds of stuff. But he learned to see each call as a chance to learn and improve. It wasn't just a test of his abilities. And over time, he became more confident. Today, he's very successful. Again, Carol Dweck did some research on this. And she showed that organizations that work to develop and foster a growth mindset tend to have more motivated employees and a more innovative approach to problem solving. What's not to like about that? So let's encourage a growth mindset in your daily life, in your team's daily life. Challenge yourself and them to learn something new every day and embrace the process of continuous improvement. Overcoming these workplace challenges does require some shifts in mindset, and it does require commitment to personal growth and personal development. So by adopting this growth mindset, setting realistic expectations and aligning perspectives, you can create a more fulfilling and successful career for you and you contribute to the same for other people. So, if you found these insights helpful and you want to learn more for you or for your team, let's keep this conversation going. Send me a direct message, leave a comment, use whatever contact media you have available, but get in touch. If you want me to develop and design with you a workshop for your team, great, tell me that. We'll meet, we'll talk about it, we'll plan for it. It's not difficult, but it does make a huge, huge difference. Okay, as I said, get in touch, leave a message, don't hesitate, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Bye for now.